And it is our honor to be joined by the great Bill Belichick, head coach of the Patriot. He's filled the trophy cases with Super Bowls. But Bill, you grew up around Navy football for more than 3 decades. Your dad was an assistant coach there, scout there. You spoke to the Navy team last night. What did you want to emphasize to them?
We talked a little bit about football and a little bit about the history of the Army-Navy game and just competition. It was great. I mean, it was a great thrill for me, an opportunity for me. I've been involved in the game as a spectator for a long time, and it's great to really kind of be a part of it there. It's a great group of kids, obviously, and Coach Newberry and his staff are very, very accommodating. So it was a thrill.
Coach, your father and I, Steve, worked together for 3 years in the Navy game. He was a great coach and one of my mentors. What influence did he have on you coaching?
Well, one of the biggest influences was bringing me around the Naval Academy and around great coaches like you. And, I always admired your coaching style. I remember when you came to Navy, the 67 Army-Navy game, that was a big game. Army was, I think, 8-1. Navy was 5-4, but had a couple big wins. And it came down to that last drive, Coach, and you had, we were ahead 19-14, and we needed to keep the ball. And you had the running backs, Balsley, Murray, Pike, and those guys. And what did you do? You had John Cartwright. You got an I formation, sprinted out, play action fake, Rob Taylor, first down, ball game. And that's the aggressiveness that I always loved and admired from you.
What remind me of, also about your father, he was a scout. Mm-hmm. He never once saw our team play. He went there every Army game and gave us a report. What do you say to that?
Yeah, no, I was, I was fortunate to be able to sit in on some of those scouting reports over at the boathouse that he gave to the team, and I learned a lot about, preparing for a team, breaking down film, learning how to scout the opponent, both live and off of film, and how to present it to a team. I mean, it was awesome working with him, and the other coaches, that went through the academy during those years, going back to, Coach Erlatz, Coach Harden, all the way through, George Welsh, Verzano. Kenny, Paul Johnson's a great group.
Coach, we always associate you with the Patriots and all your great wins and all your Super Bowls, but Army-Navy, we've been trying to talk about what Army-Navy means and what separates that game from so many other great games. Through your eyes as a youngster and all the way through, what does Army-Navy mean to you?
Well, I honestly, I think it starts with, if you're at Army or Navy, you're better off being 1-10 with that being the win than you are 10-1 with that being the loss. I mean, that starts with that. So if you're a coach and your job's on the line, that's the one you better win. But it's a great rivalry. I mean, these kids go there to serve, defend their country, to give us our freedom, and they're playing the game because they love to play the game and they love to compete, and that's really what this game's about. I have so much respect for everybody that's on the field and what they stand for. The march on, those will be, the 4,000 leaders of our country over the next, 3 decades, and we'll be proud of them, and they'll serve us well. And so it's really a great moment for not only college football and for the military, but just for what it all brings together, the competitiveness. But then when it's all over, then we're all on the same side. Yeah. We're all Americans.
Hell yeah, Coach. I think we all respect everybody that's going out there, and obviously they're much more tougher and courageous than I will ever be. But I'm going to give flowers where flowers are due. And you don't have to listen to this because you're probably going to hate me saying this. You're the greatest NFL head coach of all time and the greatest NFL general manager of all time. They always say, Coach, but you're picking out the groceries that you've been cooking this entire time. And obviously it's the greatest dynasty of all time. I know you hate that, but it leads to this.
Yeah.
You've committed
your
entire, no problem. You've committed your entire life to football, seemingly. Lombo told me a story about you playing catch with Roger Staubach when you were growing up. Yeah. Obviously, you remember 1967 with him. Now, the commitment that you've had to football, being a GM and a coach, is relentless. So appreciate that. But was this always going to be the case? Like, since you found football with your dad, like, this is going to be my life, this is going to be everything?
Yeah, well, Pat, unlike you, when you can't play, then you need to find another way to stay in the game, right?
Hey, I barely play, too.
So I'm not a good player, so you find a way to coach. But, look, I was the only child, spoiled. And, I did what my dad did. And so, I followed him around. I went to practices. I went to meetings. I watched, coaches like Coach Corso and learned how to be a coach, take different things from different coaching styles, methods, and so forth. And it just kind of felt, I guess, natural to me.
It did good, I guess.
The coach, I'll just say one other thing about Coach Corso. When he got there, so one of the things, so Naval Academy, Army-Navy game was always a Saturday after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving was Saturday, Thanksgiving morning was the last practice. And then the pep rally was Thursday night, and then Friday the team went to Philadelphia, and then they beat Army, and then they came back and won. But the Thursday practice was the last practice, and at the end of that practice, they would take the coaches, and the players would take the coaches, and they would toss them into the Severn, right?
Yeah.
And so, my dad told Lee about it, and I don't think he really believed it at first. And then, and Lee was like, in October, like, that water is going to be kind of cold. And then in November, my dad was saying, Lee, that water's getting really cold. He goes, they're not really going to do that, are they? I go, oh, yeah, they're going to do it. So practice is over. Coach starts running. But they got him. They outnumbered him. They got him. 1, 2, 3, boom, right into the Severn. And that's a cold bath now.
That's it. Go Navy, beat on.